Live.
Due to some violent content, parental discretion is advised.
You ready?
I'm ready. I started a new ritual.
What's that?
I'm not going to mow my lawns on Wednesday afternoon so that you don't get any background noise. I mean, taking one for the team, you know what I mean?
Well, good job, thank you.
Well, I don't know what this thing is. I think it's a strip show, dance show.
Work there, dude.
Welcome to
DeaconLive.
DeaconLive.
Welcome back, guys. On today's show, more news from my favorite sandwich shop, Subway, and I take the fear out of getting your endo and colon done, and also car crashes are starting to be the latest trends, and a new segment this week called The Weird and Unusual. All this and much, much more will be discussed here on Deacon Live. How are you? How are things? How are things going? And over to my far right-hand side, I have IT Dan. How are you?
I'm doing great today. Glad to be here.
You look good. You look good. I saw you drove the economy ride over here.
Yes, I had the Kia.
And why didn't you drive the big truck?
Gas mileage.
It is. See, you bought that truck from me, a couple of weeks back, and now you're realizing it costs a lot to keep that truck up and running.
Yeah, $54 to fill the tank the other day.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, it doesn't help that prices of gas are what, like $2.80, $2.89, $2.90?
Yeah, I'm waiting. I got some discount points I'm waiting from Harris Teeter.
So with Dan purchasing, now we've ordered a truck here. Myself and Mrs. Deacon have ordered a truck. We're waiting for all the computer chips to come in. As soon as they come in, they'll build our truck. We're getting the Chevy Silverado 2020 or 2022 Chevy Silverado High Country Series. It's got all the technology package and everything on it. So we sit and wait. And in the process of sitting and waiting, my wife, she's got a real nice car that she drives. And then I get stuck with the farm truck. Now, my farm truck is a 1992 fire engine red Nissan D21, or sometimes they call it a hard body, I think. They used to call it that.
That's legally an antique.
It is an antique. And the funny thing was, here in North Carolina, because we broadcast just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, a beautiful little town we like to call Marshville, and Deacon Live sits on about 22 some odd acres. We have horses and chickens and cattle and all that stuff. And we have this little red Nissan truck that we used to just to get in. It's like a little getter. I don't mind getting it a little dirty. I don't mind getting a little scratch here and there on it. It works very well for us.
But you don't let the cats in the truck.
No, we don't let the cats in the truck. The dogs like to go in the truck, and they like to ride around the property. But so we have to go get hay for the animals. And so we're limited now because we have a lighter duty truck. We have a trailer, open top trailer. Sometimes we'll get 50, 60 bales of hay, which was very easy to pull with the Chevy Silverado. But now I've got this little Nissan 4-banger, 5 on the floor stick shift. And so we can only get maybe 20 bales of hay at any given time.
That's why I buy my hay from Amazon.
You can't buy hay. Well, you probably can. I guess they deliver it too, but they won't put it in your shed. Or the barn. We were buying hay before, and they were throwing it in the barn for us. But anyways, so we got the trailer hooked up now. We've had the Nissan probably about maybe 2-3 years now. We really, did the oil change once a year, but we've never really pulled anything heavy behind it. Now, about 3 weeks ago, we had the trailer, and I'm shifting gears. I'm like, man, this thing is not. It feels like it's sluggish. It feels like it's dragging. When you start it up in the morning, you hear this like ticking, like the rocker arm.
The lifters.
The lifters, thank you. And so I'm like going, God, and then you drive around a little bit and that ticking would go away. You're like, oh, look, fixed itself. I love when it fixes itself. It makes you feel so smart.
Only it doesn't.
Well, come to find out, so we're driving this past weekend, and my wife's sitting on the passenger seat, and I'm driving, and I'm watching the temperature gauge because it got a little hot the other day, and I took a right-hand turn, a nice swooping right-hand turn, and there's no gauges other than the speedometer, the gas, and the temperature gauge on the dashboard. It's a very, very simple car. the oil light, any problems go on, it's a blinking red light or something.
An idiot light.
An
they call
idiot.
it.
Yes. So the idiot oil light blinked on and then went right back off. And I knew from just past experience growing up as a kid, that means you are low on oil. So I stopped, turned around, drove it right to like an automotive parts place.
O'Reilly's, isn't it one of you?
Oh, yeah, there's an O'Reilly's, but I don't think they're popular down in Florida. I know they got Ace and Discount and all those other ones. There's no O'Reilly's down there. But O'Reilly's is an automotive store. Bought the big 5-quart jug of the extended or the high mileage oil, and I put in, I'm watching the little ticks on the side of the jug. 1 quart goes in, another quart goes in, 2.5 quarts go in, and I'm like, holy shit, this thing was low. Sure enough, started it up. Didn't hear the ticking, sped right through the gears. It didn't overheat. So I was so in a panic. Dan, do you think I ruined the engine?
No, I don't think you ruined it. You probably gave it a little extra wear and tear that it didn't need.
But it only happened for maybe that one day that I was starting to feel the sluggish with a trailer on it.
Yeah, and well, even at idle, you're about 700 revolutions per minute.
Right.
So figure how many times it's, how long if you drive it for an hour, that's
Yeah.
63,000 revolutions.
I don't want to think about it. Okay. Well, see, now I got it in the shop, and so we dropped it off at the shop yesterday, and I told the person behind the counter, they know me because I've taken the truck up there many times. I'm like, hey, this is what happened. No problem, Mr. Deacon. We'll look it over. We'll do the whole tune up. We'll change the spark plugs. We'll drain the oil and make sure everything's fine.
I think that's the right thing to do.
Well, thank you. And so, speaking of the right thing to do, Dan, did you do anything cool this past week?
Yeah, I did something interesting. I went to a birthday party for a 99-year-old friend.
A birthday? What? At some point, when you give up, don't you just quit having birthdays?
No, but they didn't put any candles on. We didn't want the fire department there.
So, what did you do? How was the party? Was it lively? Was there music bumping? I mean, did you have like a live DJ? Did you do like karaoke or?
No, they did have one dance where they played Apple Blossom Time and Dottie dancing with every single guy that was there.
Who sings that? Is that Deadmau5? Is that
Andrew's sisters?
Skrillex?
Andrew's sisters.
Oh, so it's not a dubstep song?
It's before my time even. But she had two martinis. She was standing up, walking around, talking to everyone. She's
now is she a fit woman at 99, or is she like one bedridden, like she has no idea what's going on the planet? She's like she Terry Schiavo like she's like
She walks her dog every single day. She gets up and gets going, and we take her out to a restaurant. She jumps out of the car and she's at the restaurant door before we get there.
But does she know when she takes the dog for a walk? Does she remember how to get back?
Yeah, she's very good.
Okay, all right. Just want to make sure.
And she'll take it for a half hour.
Follow the breadcrumbs back.
Yeah, she takes long walks with the dog, not just out in the yard.
So she's a fit woman. She's live. Does she drive?
She stopped driving when she was about 95.
Okay. So I mean, even still at 95, she stopped driving?
Yeah, and she's incredible. And she's somebody you go, hey, we're going out to eat. Let's pick up Dottie because we have fun with her. She's full of life at 99.
What made her quit driving at 95?
Oh, she was just realizing she couldn't see as well as she could.
At 95, she just realized that she could not see anymore.
Yeah, she knew she couldn't do it, but she picks up all the birthday cards, reading them, and I have to get my glasses. She doesn't have glasses.
Now, is it a golf cart community that you have?
Yes. Yeah, she had a golf cart too. She gave that up.
Because she can't drive, or she just rather walk around a lot?
No, she realized she can't drive at a certain time. She's a smart woman.
All right. Speaking of smart woman, or smart people in general, when we come back, I'm going to play this video. We're talking about my engine that kind of not took a dump. God knows it didn't take a dump. But this team of mechanics actually took an old, I forget what year, a Toyota engine and buried it in the ground. And let it go through all the elements and left it in there and forgot about it, and then came back years and years later and pulled it out of the ground and to see if it would start up and see if it would hold or maintain its value. And we'll dive into that and more of the show when we come back. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Now, we're live. Right now, we're live on Facebook. We're live on Twitch. And we're only going to do the first segment. So for those of you who are watching right now, we appreciate you. If you want to watch the whole video, go over to prophetradio.com, click on Deacon Live, and you can see the whole video in its entirety. See you later. Bye.
You had to get the last word in, didn't you?
Yeah. So I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to stream the first part of the show, and that way, because people aren't going to sit there and watch a whole full-length show on the
But
thing.
you can watch it later on.
But you can watch the whole thing later on, right?
And if there's a fire and one of us is a real coward and runs out of the building,
Right.
it will show up.
Where are you going? Oh.
You want me to bring a beer?
No, I got 2, thank you.
You better make sure it's only 8 minutes.
I was watching the other while I'm waiting for her to take a shower and do her makeup, or not makeup, do all her nighttime activities and stuff. And she's like, "Well, find something for us to watch." I always go to on YouTube on the big TV in the bedroom, and I'll watch the videos on the TV. Watch our videos and stuff. Even before I used to watch.
So you can fall asleep.
No, just to see the editing. That's what, because I don't.
Okay.
When I edit it, once I'm done, I don't watch it. It's done. So when I edit it, I'll put in like little snippets, like commentary while I'm watching. I'm like, oh, this is the part that I did this, and this is the part that I did this. So there's commentary, like what was it, pop-up video, MTV or
Do you know how many people watch this? Can you tell how many people watch the show? The whole.
Well, YouTube, it doesn't really get a whole lot of streams. Twitch and Facebook, it varies,
I still got to work on my. I still got to work on doing my comedy thing. I want to get all the ideas straight in my head before I want to do it once, because I kind of want to have a familiarity with it, and I want it to look the same. Every video is going to look the same, and I think I'm going to have to have 2 characters in it, just so you could like ask a joke and then one person, so you could get and have a reply.
I'll show you. Remind me to show you a video that someone's kind of doing on TikTok, something like that. But yours will be different, I'm sure. You ready?
I'm ready.
This is going to take a little bit longer because the video is 11 minutes long, so I'm going to have to skip through it. So bear with me as I go through it. All right, ready? Here we go. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Over to my far right-hand side is IT Dan. How are you?
I'm doing great.
And you are listening to Deacon Live wherever you catch your podcatchers. We're on iHeart, we're on Spotify, we're on iTunes, Stitcher. There's 20 different platforms. So make sure you follow us and like us and do all that stuff. And you guys want some free stuff? Of course you do. I've got some brand new stickers. I got another batch of stickers coming in, Dan. I just ordered some more of those. We sold out of the lot. I say sold out. We give them away for free, and you can get your free stickers by going to Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio. Click on Deacon Live, or actually click on the free swag section. Fill out the little form there, your mailing address, and we'll mail you out some free, just to say thank you, because we appreciate you guys.
That's a nice thing.
It is a nice thing. So I was talking about my little 1992, which is you said it's an antique now or a classic?
It should be an antique after 25 years.
Now, in Florida, if you have a car that's over 25 years old, they automatically give you an antique license plate. It says antique across the top. And then when a car hits 50 years old, it is I think a maroon-looking license plate that says classic. And it's free. You don't have to pay for the tag ever again. Now, here in North Carolina, after 30 years, you don't have to get your car inspected. They figure the car is well not worth the time to have it inspected.
That means it probably won't pass.
It probably won't pass, or there's too much going on. Now, these guys right here, a Toyota engine was buried a year ago, is unearthed. Will it still run? And for you guys out there, for every podcast we do, we have a matching video as well. And you can see this video in tandem. Whoops, sorry. You can see this video in tandem as we talk about it here on the air. Now, these guys, they're German, so it's kind of overdubbed, so bear with us.
As some of you might remember, precisely 1 year ago, somewhere in this area, we buried a motor. Now honestly, I forgot about it, but thankfully we were reminded by the viewers in the comment section. As for the idea we had a year ago, we fired up that motor while it was underground, and it was happily running down there. For those who don't remember, that was the engine from the minivan, the 2CT Toyota diesel.
So they buried this It looks pretty good in the ground. What, like 6 feet, 5 feet, 4 feet in the ground?
Yeah, the top of the motor is still underground.
So, and they fired it up in the ground just to show that it was a working motor. They got, pipes and stuff going to it. So they're showing that it's a
That's
working
when we
motor.
got buried. So now it's all a matter of tidying up, connecting some hardware, and attempting to start the engine.
So we're going to skip through this video, but
After
here you
it
go.
has Okay, fellas, we've cleaned this area up, which revealed all of the wires. We got connected to this engine, and here's the thing. This goes to the starter solenoid, this is the positive lead.
So are they going? It looks like they're going to start up underground. I don't think that's
This
going
is
to
for
work.
the glow plugs, and this right here is the ground wire. So when we connect them to the battery, nothing happens.
All right, so nothing happens. Now, they get it out. They dig the whole thing out. They put it on an engine stand or engine. Is it an engine jack, engine lift? What is that called?
Engine's usually an engine stand.
All right, engine stand. So they've got it out, and they're stripping it down, and they're cleaning everything up out of
Now,
it.
it's okay to spray it into the older engines, though you should probably avoid doing that with the newer ones. In this case, we are dealing with an older motor, so we can get away with a bit of cheating. It's a rather simple design, so we can spray in a bit.
They're doing some auto start on it.
Yeah,
Now, they haven't done anything to it, and they're spraying it, and it's turning over. So the video goes on and on and on. They take the heads off, they clean everything out, and then finally the moment of, they put it all back together, they hook up the fuel, they run oil through it, and then they fire it up, and this is the actual, or try to fire it up, and this is the end result.
It backfires. We should try beat it in here.
Whoops. It's going. A lot of smoke. Now this is a diesel.
That's enough. We have oil, maybe there's just not enough of it.
All right.
I can't see oil running out just because it's underground.
Go for it.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it then. There you go. Now mine wasn't smoking like that.
No.
It's stuck in place.
So this engine was buried in the ground for over a year. Dirt and everything, all the elements and stuff. They pulled the thing out, kind of just cleaned it up a little bit, stripped it down, and sure enough, got that engine up and running within a matter of, I'm going to say, a day, maybe. 3 guys working on it at one time. So
Yeah, we had a computer that was involved in a building that burned down, and it was covered in ice, a big cake of ice. We chipped it out of the ice, brought it into the workshop, and just let it sit for a week to let all the water run out of it. Worked just like.
did it really?
Yep, worked fine. If it was plugged in, you got another story. You get things shorting out. But if it's not plugged in, you can take. I take my keyboards and run them through the dishwasher to make sure they're totally dry. Have them 3 or 4 days in the rack, and then I take them out and plug them in. They work fine.
Really?
But if they have a drop of water on them and you plug it in, you can blow the whole thing up.
Well, that's a high risk to take. I mean, you're talking about putting a keyboard in the washing machine, and you say, well, let it dry for 3 or 4 days. What if you have high humidity and all of a sudden a little bit of water, just a little bit of moisture that gets underneath the key, and you hit the letter Z, and all of a sudden, zap!
Yeah, I never hit the letter Z. I don't. Unless I'm typing a letter to Zorro. But it works fine, and that you can take them and scrub them with a brush, clean it up like brand new. You have to figure a week without your keyboard, letting it sit and dry out.
Now, speaking of drying out, here in the summer months here, it's getting really, really hot out there. Now, Dan, are you familiar with Airbnb?
Yes.
And what is Airbnb? What is your knowledge of Airbnb?
I know a few people that have them, and they rent them out, and they're making a lot more money than they would on a monthly rental. And they have pretty good clientele. It's a moneymaker.
Now, they always say if you live in Florida, you're supposed to have 2 friends, and you have one friend that has a boat, and then you have one friend that has a pool, because you never want to have these items yourself because you're just dumping money into them. The pool's a pain in the ass to keep the chlorine up, and a boat is always, it's just like a motor in the water, and it's a pain in the ass.
It's like owning horses, if you can imagine that.
Well, horses, you get a little bit more satisfaction out of them. I'll tell my wife that, and I'm going to stick to that. Jim Batten tree-lined swimming pool at his home in Portland, Oregon has been sitting untouched since his youngest daughter moved away 2 years ago. Then in September, he listed it through an online platform for renting out private pools. He booked the pool 3 times within the first 2 hours. He says now he has hosted 2,700 guests in the last year. Mr. Batten expects to earn almost $111,000 by the end of summer, which would just cover what him and his wife make together. So what he has done here, he is one of 13,000 pool owners in 125 markets across the whole United States, Los Angeles, Austin, that are cashing in on their unused pool by listing it with a company called Swimplify or
Swimply.
Swimply. I'm sorry. Go ahead and read the rest of that for me there.
Oh, okay. Well, Swimply said its pool owners have made about 122,000 bookings since the start of 2020. Business began picking up before the COVID pandemic, but it boomed during the health crisis as public pools closed and people sought to make some extra cash.
So, I mean, there's got to be something in your insurance about having...
That was my thought.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big liability. Or, I mean, maybe that's part of the incentive. Hey, we have a lifeguard on duty. You know, someone in the house is medically trained with CPR or mouth to mouth. I mean, that would be an incentive. I mean, I wouldn't have my 10-year-old daughter or 12-year-old little Timmy. You know, little Timmy, he likes to get in trouble. And he, you know, you book the thing for a couple hours at a time, and little Timmy goes over there and he drowns. Who's going to watch him? I don't want to watch him. Is it up to the homeowner or is it up to you to watch the kids?
My feeling is that if somebody wants to make some money, they're doing it legally. I'm all for it.
I mean, it's no different, I guess, in a slang sense as far as what Uber is. I mean, you're taking your own personal vehicle, you're using your own money, your insurance, because now insurance have gotten smart and say, are you using this car to make money? Is this part of your business? Is this part of, and they'll tax on your insurance, your car insurance, a little bit more if you're driving or whatever for Uber.
And you're going to have extra mileage that way.
And you will have extra mileage. You pay for all that. But, I mean, same thing with a pool. Pool's got a lot more chemicals, a lot more stuff you got to get in there to keep it balanced. And little Timmy's in there peeing and pooping in the pool, you know.
We don't have that on camera, though.
No, we don't have that on camera. Now, something out there, being poolside, you want to lay out in the sun. Dan, I do this all the time. I mow the lawn with my shirt off. I've got my mom and dad. I'm 1/3 Cherokee, 1/4 Cherokee, because my grandmother's Cherokee. So I've got that real nice olive skin. When I get dark, I get dark. And my dad, unfortunately, he didn't get that side of my that gene, so he burns and he got sunburn. He's got skin cancer. He's got it all over his nose. He's had his nose removed. He's had, you know.
Yeah, it's horrible. Any kind of cancer is horrible.
So what do you do to protect against sunburn or skin cancer? You say put sunblock on, right?
Well, to me, I wear a hat.
Okay, you wear a hat. Do you do any sunblock or do anything?
No.
Nothing. You don't put like coconut oil on your body, Dan? Or?
No, to me that's almost like putting butter on your bread and putting it in the frying pan. You want to cook yourself. So.
Now I've got Johnson & Johnson stock, and they can't catch a break. Johnson & Johnson. I bought it, I think, at like $171 per share, and it went up all the way to like 180 something, and it's floating right now around 162 just because, you know, the COVID shot and they're having bad results and stuff. Well, Johnson & Johnson takes another strike right to the face, and that's their Neutrogena product and also Aveeno. The company's pulling away its product after cancer-detecting agents, chemical known as benzene, and other samples have been found in their products. U.S. stores have detected benzene. Oh, I already said that. Johnson & Johnson said Wednesday customers should stop using and discard 5 of these 6 Neutrogena and Aveeno spray sunscreens. The company says it's also notifying distributors and realtors to stop selling the product and arranging for them to return the products. A spokesman for the company said, an effort we like to include removing the product off of the shelves. Okay, so New Brunswick, New Jersey, the company said that it doesn't use benzene in manufacturing of the sunscreen spray in its investigation that causes the contamination. The company is in touch with the regular agencies and blah, blah, blah. So what they're saying is this Neutrogena product that they say, hey, you know, spray it on your skin, protect you from the sun. Well, guess what? The spray itself gives you what you're protecting yourself against.
Yeah, well, that's about normal for 2021. I mean, it's crazy, but I don't know how you can have that chemical in there unless it's used in the cleaners the maintenance cleaning of the vats or something where they manufacture it.
I don't know. I don't know the compounds of it. They're just saying that Neutrogena product. They're pulling them all off the thing, and these are the ones that they're pulling off. So if you got these in your cabinets, give it to your neighbors that you don't like. And it's the Neutrogena Beach Defense. Sorry, Neutrogena Cool Dry Sport, the Neutrogena Invisible Daily, the Ultra Sheer, and Aveeno Protect Plus Refresh aerosol sunscreens. Out of an abundance of caution, we are recalling a lot of these specific aerosol sunscreen products. So if you got these in your cabinets, if your kids got it. Now, when I had my boat, we had always no ad. And that was the name of the company, was No Ad. It was a generic company. It was all natural, and you put it on, and I had from SPF 75 down to SPF 5. Now, do you know about the SPFs and what they do?
They're just ratings and how much protection you get out of each one.
So, and this is just a little thing for you to know. You think that SPF 45 is better than SPF 30?
Yes.
Yes. Well, they found out that SPF 30 blocks out 93% of the harmful rays. All right? SPF 45 only blocks out 95% of the... So there's not a whole lot of jump in between the two. And SPF 15 only blocks out 85. So it's like, it's not a big jump in between the two. So I always stuck with SPF 30. I'm like, I'm good. I'll apply it a couple times, and then there you have it. All right, when we come back, my favorite restaurant, they're in the news again. And what restaurant's that, Dan?
I'm guessing it would probably be Subway.
It wouldn't be a Deacon Live show unless we had Subway story, and they just can't keep their name out of the news headlines. And stick around, we'll dump into that and jump into that as well. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back.
J&J's also got it they didn't have a problem with the baby powder, too, was causing cancer.
I know.
That's why I said I am so glad I didn't get the vaccine. I'm sorry,
Oh, that's fine. You don't have to apologize to me.
No, I'm sorry that... Not to apologize to you. I said, I'm sorry I'm not getting that.
Oh.
No, I go... Yeah, I've never worn sunscreen. I just... if I, and I usually, my thing is I don't stay out for, I'll go swim for an hour or something in the water. And
yeah, some of these articles, they only let you read so many articles off their webpage. And if you click on too many of them, they'll block half of the article.
Yeah, and you have to subscribe to get more, pay money. Anything I go to and it has something like that, I just click off of it and say, no, I'll go to find something on another site. So. I find that no matter how bad a pizza is, if it has pepperoni in it, it always tastes good. Guess what we had at Dottie's birthday party? Dates wrapped in prosciutto.
I know.
And
You told me, yeah. And that's why I asked if it was a...
Have you heard about they have a movie called The Lost Corvette? Do you know there's 1 year they did not make a Corvette? There's a movie about it. I have to read it.
Do I have to read the movie, or can I watch it?
You can watch it.
Is there a live version of the...
Did I say read?
Yeah.
Let me know if you need help reading these.
Well, when I'm reading them, I panic because I see you moving over there, and I'm like going, am I reading this wrong? What am I doing? What am I doing wrong?
Well, most of the time you read them wrong.
Am I reading it wrong?
Yeah.
I changed the words around, but I moved the sentence the way I want it.
Yeah, but you instead of you said realtors instead of residents or something like that.
That's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
No one's listening to that part.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
I'm ready. Am I making you nervous?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Welcome back to Deacon Live. Everyone wants to be heard. And hold on one second. Let me start that over.
I want to be heard.
You want to be heard? Let me start that over. Hold on. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Over to my far right-hand side is IT Dan.
Yeah, good afternoon.
How are you? You doing all right?
I'm doing fantastic.
Now, everyone wants to be heard, and you too also want to be heard. And the way you do that, you can be part of the show at any given time. The way you do that is go over to Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio. Click on the Be Heard section. There's a little blue bar at the very bottom right-hand side of the page, or wherever it is on your tablet, on your computer, on your laptop, wherever you're listening to us from or getting all this information from. Click on that. Opens up a microphone right on your screen, and you can leave us a message. Comes right to our inbox. We'll play it on the very next podcast, and we'll play some here during the show. I got a couple on there. Just people saying hi, hello, that type of stuff.
That's all you have to do?
That's all you have to do. It's that simple. And while you're there, you might as well get some free stuff. Fill that out as well. Now, Dan, do you have a snack or a treat or a go-to snack or something that you have that you're like, oh, I just want to, I just need something. I don't need a meal or anything. I just need something light just to hold me through till the next meal.
Yeah, we like popcorners.
What are popcorners?
Popcorners are triangle pieces they're like crackers.
Oh God, you fell
and
into
they taste like popcorn.
you fell into the trap of how do we figure out how to make the next chip? Because that's the way I look at it. Every time I go down the chip aisle, there's Ritz has got a Flats or a Thins or a Ruffles or a Crispy and a this, and I'm like going, just give me the you've done right. Just stick with what you know. Don't make anything different.
These actually taste good, and we found out about them when we're flying on JetBlue. They give them away there.
Have you tried buttered saltine crackers?
No, I don't have saltines very often, just in soup usually.
Okay, well, butter saltine crackers is the newest trend that's blowing up TikTok right now. Okay, so maybe not everyone has a clue of what buttered saltine crackers may have been, but your grandparents love it. Maybe Dottie liked it at 99 years old, the party that you had.
We didn't have them there.
You didn't have those there? So, classic butter saltine crackers. Here's the recipe. You ready? Ingredients: 1, butter. Next, 2, saltines. That's all.
Yeah, what could go wrong with butter and salt?
Now, my wife makes fun of me because for dessert, I do if we don't have like sweet stuff in the house, I will take a slice of bread and I'll put peanut butter on it. And then I'll actually take regular, like a stick of butter and put a couple dabs or squares of butter on the peanut butter
pads,
thank you, and fold it in half and then eat it. And it's that sweet and salty because butter's somewhat sweet.
Couldn't you just make toast and then put peanut butter on it?
I don't want the toast. I want a nice soft, there's nothing like a fresh baked or a nice piece of bread, a fresh piece of bread, sliced bread.
Hopefully not white bread.
No, it's a whole grain or wheat or something like that. And then
You scared me there for a minute.
I put peanut butter on and then a couple pads of butter, and I take a bite. My wife goes, "How do you eat that?" And I'm like, "Oh no, it's good. It's salty and sweet at the same time. You wouldn't think it, but it is." Now, an MLB, Major League Baseball announcer, reaction to the Skyline chili goes viral. Now, are you familiar with Skyline chili, Dan?
No, I've never had it.
All right, so the Mets are playing the Reds in Cincinnati, and Cincinnati's local dish is called the Skyline Chili. It includes, you ready for this? Chili, of course, spaghetti, beans, onion, and cheese. And when I say cheese, I'm talking mounds and mounds and mounds of cheese. I don't know if I've had something like that before. Spaghetti on chili, I've had that maybe... I've got leftover noodles and I got leftover chili.
I've never
try
had it, but I can see it. That wouldn't be bad.
Now I've had like chili and rice, chili on toast, but chili and spaghetti, I could see that happening. Read this for me right here, Dan.
Okay, Cohen's review of Skyline chili was as bad as Cincinnati's pitching on Monday night. For reference, the Reds gave up 15 runs to the Mets. This is the local delicacy known as the Skyline chili, he said on the baseball broadcast. The 5-way with the spaghetti and cheese, first disgusting chili gravy, after the onions come the cheese, and that's what makes it the 5-way.
This is a sports announcer talking about the game, and he's like going, well, it's as worse as the pitchers. He gave up, 15 runs.
Yeah, and they put 10 tons of shredded cheese on it, and this is supposed to be food that you actually eat. He then admitted that he's never tried Skyline chili, which led to a hilarious response.
So if you're in Cincinnati, you've had the Skyline chili, take a picture of it and send it to us. And the way you do that is go over to Prophet Radio and
Yeah.
Excuse me. There's a little section there that says shared on. You can share that photo with us of your Skyline chili.
I've tried few things like a Steel City sandwich, a Pittsburgh sandwich.
Watch your mouth, Dan.
And a Steel City sandwich you have bread, you have a whole hump of beef, you have cheese, you have coleslaw, and you have French fries all in one sandwich. And I said, I got to try it, and it was good. It just hurt your mouth opening so wide to eat it.
Now, are you familiar with Uncrustables?
No.
All right, Uncrustables, I don't know when they came out. I was in that mid-tween. You know, I was a teenager. You had a teenager and a teenager and a tween. I'm in between that thing where I'm... Anyways, so they came out, and I really didn't think they were interesting. But Uncrustables, I guess, when your mom and dad made your peanut butter and jelly sandwich... Mom, cut the crust off. I don't want the crust. That's the best part of the bread. That's the best part of the bread. No, cut the crust off. And you always see in movies, hey, here's your peanut butter and jelly with the crust cut off.
Oh, I've never been that pampered. So.
Well, some parents out there do that for their kids. So I forget what company it is that makes Uncrustables. Pillsbury actually says, you know what, we'll help you out, Mom. We'll make you Uncrustable peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And all it is essentially this round, almost looks like a pot pie crust, and it's got peanut butter and jelly inside. So the peanut butter and jelly was a big hit. Now, this isn't the first time the Uncrustables have ventured into new savory flavors. They've done it like a taco bite in April of 2020. Right now, they have a pizza roll type version of the Uncrustable. Uncured pepperoni bites with marinara sauce, natural pepperoni, and mozzarella cheese. So they're now, Uncrustables is coming out with a pizza Uncrustable for the kids.
It's like a pocket, I guess.
It is like a pocket, and I guess maybe they're running up against Hot Pocket. You ever had one of those?
Once.
What was your opinion on them?
I was glad I heated up too much in the microwave so I didn't have to taste it. Burnt my taste buds out, but no, there's certain things processed stuff I don't go for.
Now, Dan, it wouldn't be a Deacon Live show unless we were talking about Subway. Now, Subway, in my opinion, I really like Subway because of the fresh bread. The meat, take it or leave it. I'd rather have boar's head meat or Dietz and Watson. If you've ever had Dietz and Watson,
I've had good meats. I just don't understand how they can take all these fresh ingredients and the fresh bread, you put it all together, and it doesn't taste good. That's the puzzle to me, yes.
Dan, I will take you up one day after the show. I'll take you up to my local Subway here. I'll get whatever. I'll recommend the sandwich. You tell me what you like. You know, I like meat, or I like this, or I like it toasted. I will take you up there, and I will buy you lunch, and we'll sit there and eat it, and we'll videotape it. And
yeah, I like the macadamia nut cookies.
Yeah, those are good.
Yeah, hope it's not tuna.
All right. Well, unfortunately, Subway has launched an entire website to prove that their tuna is really, really tuna once and for all. Dan, read this for me right here.
Yeah, if you've been keeping up with Subway news, especially surrounding a recent investigation of the tuna products, it may not be much of a shocker to you, but the company has made a website all about their tuna, claiming it's absolutely real. On the other hand, if you have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about when it comes to Subway's tuna, here's everything you need to know. In January this year, the Washington Post reported Subway they're facing a lawsuit that claimed their tuna products are not tuna at all. Still, Subway stood by the fact that they use all real tuna products in their stores, although it may be worth noting that the sandwich chain recently underwent a total menu revamp. So, you know.
These results are either mean that the tuna is so heavily processed that it, from its present tuna states, that it couldn't be identified. So, like, for example, you have Amy picked up a peppered chicken or turkey. She went to the store. She went up to the local food line, and it had cracked peppercorn turkey. What? You can't hear me?
I didn't hear.
Well, you got to move your headphones around. Sometimes not the headphones, the connection. Connection goes bad sometimes. For you jumping up or down.
Yes.
But Amy she got a cracked peppercorn turkey, sliced turkey. And in the center of it was a rib or a lining of cracked pepper. You ever seen
black?
And there was a line in the center of it. She's like, two things. It's really, really good, And second, it's really, really scary that there's a line on the inside. That means they fused and processed the...
Oh, yeah. Processed food is processed food.
So right now, Subway has launched SubwayTunaFacts.com and is arguing that that they said that it's done in a lab, that the testing was not legit. The first pop-up you see when you enter the site that says, "We actually happened." This was a New York Times commission. The test could not detect the DNA sample. And they said, according to our experts, testing the cooked tuna possibly doesn't mean the sample that they tested contained zero tuna.
Yeah, and I myself, as far as my taste buds go, you could give me a chicken salad sandwich and a tuna salad sandwich made the same way. I can't tell the difference between them.
Really? So Subway has now gone out. So, stay true, Subway fans. There is a website out there that explains how the tuna is actually made and everything that you need to worry about. I know my wife sometimes gets a tuna sandwich. She'll get the bread toasted first, though.
I like it that way.
And then and I'll make tuna sandwiches here. But do you get the albacore?
Yeah, we get white albacore tuna, and what I do is I make a tuna melt, and I use my George Foreman grill.
I can't stand hot tuna. Hey-o.
Oh, hot tuna with some cheese melted in it.
No,
Yeah.
I want cold tuna sandwich. That's what I want. All right, when we come back, let's see, what time is it? Yeah, we'll do. Oh shit.
We better do something when we come back.
Yeah, we'll do. Does that sound better?
Yeah.
We'll do. Shit. We'll do. Is this going some? No, sorry. Shit. I blew everything, Dan. Darn it.
All right. Want to do that? What do you want to do?
No, hold on. Well, it wasn't for too long. All right. So when we come back, we'll jump into Up to Speed with Technology with IT Dan. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back.
What did you do? Because I wasn't hearing you.
I turned my microphone off to crack my beer, and I didn't turn it back on.
So you weren't recorded?
I was recording, but I was recording through on your end.
Oh.
So I might need to cut that out. Unless you want to do that section again.
Can you go back and play it and see if it came out?
Yeah, it's right here. See? Right here. See how low it is?
Can you play it just to see?
Yeah, hold on. Once and for all. Dan, read this for me right here.
Yeah, if you've been keeping up with Subway news, especially surrounding a recent investigation of the tuna products, it may not be much of a shocker to you, but the company has made what I'm starting.
God damn it.
Welcome to the amateur hour.
All right, so here we go. I'll just pick up, because this is where I started talking.
Okay. I can do it if you want.
No, I'll do it. Shit. I'm more See, my problem is I'm more worried about you than I'm worried about what I'm doing over here. That's my problem. All right, you ready?
Okay.
So what they're saying is, Dan, is that the results either mean that the tuna was so heavily processed that the present tuna could not be identified. And what that means is they identified that it was not tuna. Well, that's false. So Subway has launched out a website that says SubwayTunaFacts.com, arguing about the former, saying that the lab tested was not legitimate. The first pop-up you see when you enter the site says, what actually happened is that the New York Times commissioned a test that could not detect the DNA in our tuna, and that was bullshit. They figured it out that it was so processed and stuff that the part that they took was the processed part and not the tuna part. So it's a whole big debacle of tuna fish, but
so it has tuna in it, but it could have mayonnaise and other parts.
Well, it could have other things. So, for example, you got how big is a tuna fish? Like 200, 300 pounds, right?
Yeah, a big commercial one.
And what they do in the cocaine world, are you familiar with the term stamping on it or stomping on it?
When they weaken the quality of it. Yeah.
They cut it down.
Yeah,
so what they've done is they've taken this tuna fish and all these other junk fish that they've pulled up in the net. They'll take those and they'll skin those and mix it in with the tuna. So now that 300-pound tuna fish is now 1,500 pounds of quote-unquote fish.
Yeah, so it does have tuna in it, but it's not. That's to me,
But who would ever know? I mean, I've gone to Korean restaurants and Vietnamese restaurants, and they say, oh, it's flounder. and it's spelled a little weird, and you're like, hey, Joe Sakamori, you spelled flounder wrong up there on the screen. And they're like, no, it's flounder. It's flounder.
Yeah.
But every fish that you get out of their menu always looks the same. And you're like, all right, I don't know how legit this is.
I'll go. I don't eat fish that often, but a whitetail, flounder, they all taste the same to me.
All right. So when we come back, we'll jump into, is this, I said it again. We'll jump into, I got to write this down so I can read it a little bit better. Up to speed with technology with IT Dan. Stick around. We'll jump into that here in just one sec. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back.
It's almost like Arby's with the roast beef, but I mean, if you bought real tuna, the people who make the tuna sell it to the person in each franchisee.
Right.
So you pass the cost on to them, and you give the person a real tuna fish sandwich. That's the way I do it. Do it the right way. But they probably, mixing it, and then they're still charging the franchisee person, a shitload, and someone in the middle's cleaning up. I know there's no corporate greed anywhere. We have to worry about that.
But I mean, they spend all that money on fresh ingredients, but then they like you said, they gotta cut costs somewhere else. They make fresh bread every day, which is not cheap. Instead of having it mass produced at a bakery, like Publix. Some Publixes don't have a bakery. They it's frozen, shipped to them, and then they pull it out and let it thaw out, and then put it up on the shelf.
Oh, the Subways do?
No,
Some.
the bread.
Yeah.
Some Publixes don't have an actual bakery.
Oh, okay.
So they'll have the shipped in, frozen, then they'll thaw it out and then put it out like Publix bakery style.
Yeah, that's not fresh.
No.
So how do
What?
Yeah, so I just got to make sure if you sound different, I'm gonna have to let you know right away.
I thought you said you couldn't hear me, and I was like, you could say right on there, hey, Trav, I can't hear you. Something's not right. If you want to do that right on the air, that's fine.
Okay.
If you start doing this, I don't.
Yeah. Okay.
My whole train of thought. Yeah, just go. Hey, hold on. Just say stop. But.
Yeah. Okay.
And I can fix it.
And you're worried about me.
Right.
7 minutes late. He's worried about me.
Right. All right. You ready? Nope. Clear your saliva.
You said you want to give it a little gap?
Yeah, I'll go like this and then go. Welcome back to Deacon Live. It is now time for Up to Speed with Technology with IT Dan.
Good afternoon. Just a couple things here. One thing, don't panic about Windows 11. You can keep your Windows 10 until 2025. So we got 4 more years you can use it. And
now, is it a big push to get Windows 11? I haven't seen. Normally, you see a flood of commercials and stuff for Windows. And don't forget, Windows 11 coming out soon. I've never seen any commercials yet for Windows 11.
You'll see that around Thanksgiving and Christmas time when they're pushing the new PCs, and they have to meet certain requirements to get Windows 11. That's the problem there. But I think what's going to be happening is you're going to have a big junkyard of more electronic waste. That's the problem. When people upgrade their computers about every 6 years, and Microsoft is making these old computers obsolete, and they're going to be filling up our landfills and everything.
So are the motherboards still a 486?
Yeah, they're still 486 motherboards, but they have to have certain RAM, they have to have certain speed for the CPU, they have to have all these different specs to make this new, and they also have to have a secure BIOS, which is one of the things that changes between the older computers. And a lot of people are talking about after 225 going to a different operating system like Linux.
Now, Linux is what a lot of the hackers use, isn't it? Because
we all use Linux, we just don't realize it. Linux is in when you look at your TV screen.
I only say that because I watched Mr. Robot.
Yeah, and you watch your a lot of your smartphones run off a version of the Linux. A lot of your TVs most of the time are Linux. If your refrigerator is a screen, it's usually run on Linux. There's so many things. I'm sure those Amazon Fire Sticks and Linux is in a lot of things we use. We just don't realize.
Really? All right. What else you got?
Another thing would be is a way you can have Alexa count the days to your event. Like say you're planning to start a vacation. Or,
Alexa, I'm planning on starting a vacation.
yes, and you can open up the Alexa app on your phone, your Android phone or iPad, and you can tap more on the bottom bar, and you'll see a bunch of list of options like reminders, routines, and so on.
Hold on. I got the Alexa thing on my phone here. So let me go to my Alexa app. Alexa, Amazon Alexa. Go to the bottom, it says more.
Yeah, and then you're going to see reminders and routines.
I see reminders, routines, alarms, and stuff. So what am I?
Did you see one that says see more?
Yep, see more.
Yep, and then you do, not the guy Seymour, the Seymour. And you'll expand the list, and you click blueprints.
Blueprints, got it.
And there should be one that says how many days.
And it says skill blueprints. Your skills feature all custom Q&A, chore chart, whose turn, how many days, burns.
How many days? You got it right there.
Roast your friend. Oh, how many days? Okay, there you go. How many days? And here's a sample of how many days. Hold on, let's see if it'll play. Ready?
Alexa, how many days until Hawaii vacation?
Another day closer. Hawaii vacation is 66 days away. Better start getting ready.
So there you go. That's just a little sample they got there.
And
so
you-
make your own, and then I see create my own. All right, go ahead.
And what does Alexa do? Alexa notifies its friends who are into breaking and entering and lets them know you're going to be in Hawaii in 66 days.
Well, no, actually, you can tell Alexa, "Hey, I'm leaving the house," and it'll listen for breaking windows or odd sounds. And I don't know if it says, "Hey, Deacon, is that you?"
Yeah, they'll notify you on your phone. I've read about that also.
Really? And that's free, from my understanding.
Yeah, and it's funny. And it's sometimes my wife and I will talk about something, and Alexa will answer, and we go, "Alexa, we weren't talking to you." And she goes, "I'm sorry, I wasn't listening to you." Like
Right.
Yes.
Right.
That's
Now, what's really scary is, we have a Alexa in the kitchen, we have a Alexa in the bedroom, but we call it Echo, so it's got a different name, so the two don't get confused with each other. And we'll be watching something on TV, and then all of a sudden, and it doesn't say Alexa, it doesn't say anything like that, all of a sudden the Echo in the bedroom will go, "I'm not sure about that, but I'll find out about it later." And we're just laying in bed going, "Did you say something? Did you say something?"
Maybe
so
one
it's
of the
going
dogs went, "Echo."
Yeah.
We're doing that. So,
What else you got?
Another thing, they have they have human strength multiplying robots, and they're getting a wearable controller where you wear straps on your arms. You wear the straps on your arms, on your elbows, and it pretty much, the robot will follow your movements. So I watched a great video where they had a guy standing on the ground. He's got the VR headset on and the straps on his arms, and up in the bucket they had a robot that was just the torso and the arms cutting limbs down with a chainsaw. So the person's not going to fall out of the bucket, they're not going to get hurt, and the person can be standing on the ground, and you can work all day long without any of the dangers. I mean,
Now, there's a movie with Hugh Jackman in it that where he's a boxer. He's an old boxer, and he has the VR stuff on his hands, and they have the big robots in the ring, and they battle each other in the ring. I don't know why I started
Yeah.
talking Russian, but that's
yeah, it's probably same principle, but you can see where, in some of these high danger jobs, I mean that would be great for dismantling bombs or doing all kinds of things where you can, somebody can work all day long, lift 200 pounds, and you're saving human lives. I think that's great.
Now, have you heard, Dan, and not to jump on your up to speed with technology, have you heard of self-healing phones? Like when you break your phone screen or something like that, have you heard about self-healing phones?
No, I haven't heard about that.
All right, so do me a favor. Read this part right here, and this is all about this new technology that's coming out. Now, Joe Biden himself is passing some kind of bill, or not bill, but he's passing some kind of legislation that says for like all the computer or the cell phone companies, they said that they need to take care of their screens if they break. And I don't know how he's going to make them do that. I mean, it's sole proprietor. They're in the the whatever district.
This is probably my biggest concern every morning when I wake up.
So he's telling like the cell phone companies to say, hey, you need to replace these people's screens for free. So read this right here. The scientists have come out with an actual self-healing phone.
Yeah, the researchers have used a piezoelectro-organic material which converts mechanical energy to electrical energy and vice versa to make needle-shaped crystals that aren't more than 2 millimeters long or 0.02 millimeters wide, according to experimental results. Due to the molecular arrangement in the specifically designed crystals, a strong attractive force developed between the two surfaces. Every time a fracture occurred, the attractive forces joined the pieces back together again without needing an external stimulus such as heat or others that most self-healing materials would need. Our self-healing material is 10 times harder than others and has a well-ordered internal crystalline structure, which is factored in most electronics and optical applications.
Yeah, so they discovered, or they're working on self-healing cell phone screens. So
yeah, I mean, if you can make the molecular structure work, so if something breaks, the other parts put it together.
Now, some cars out there have self-healing bumpers. You know how our bumpers are fiberglass or whatever, and if you get a bump or a dent or something in it, you can see there's a video out there somewhere where the guy literally takes like a heat gun and heats it up, and it automatically it's remembering foam or something like that.
Yeah,
and
they have a memory.
It pops right back into place, and these self-healing phones don't need a heat source. They automatically realize that the distance between, this rod and this rod and this rod have separated, so they figure out how to fix themselves.
I mean, it's a cool idea. I think there's a lot of probably more important things we should worry about.
All right, when we come back, our health is very important to worry about, and we'll dive into getting a colonoscopy. And I was I saw a video of a good friend of ours here at the show who actually just came out of having an endoscopy. What's the
endoscopy?
Endoscopy, and then the colon at the same time.
Okay.
And she put a video up on Facebook, and I want everyone to hear it because I was kind of scared doing that. I want you guys to hear this as well. Stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. As he hits the microphone. I got to put a video in here of me, or because if you're going to talk to me, I need to be.
You mean you weren't there during the show? That part of it?
Yeah, I'll put a little picture up here of me.
Oh,
something.
Because you're vain. Okay, I understand.
Well, it looks like you're just talking to nobody in the air.
You've never had colonoscopy yet?
Well, remember I'm going to say this on the air, but remember I told you the story that they pushed it off to be 49 years old, and then all of a sudden, like a week later, the nurse called and said, Mr. Deacon, we're gonna schedule you for your colon. I said, I thought it was supposed to be next year. This year. I said, well, no. I said, I'm not ready to do this. I said, I'll wait till next year. Okay, I'll let him know, Mr. Deacon.
I mean, I do not want colon cancer, so.
Well, I don't either, Dan. But I mean, when the nurse practitioner says, studies have shown that we can now push it back to almost 50 years old, and so do you want to get yours next year? And I said, yeah. She's like, all right, I'll make a note to schedule it for next year. I'm like, all right, cool. But they can't get my fucking back thing situated. I hate that. How do I get rid of that?
Get rid of what? Click the X in the top corner?
No.
Yeah.
I'll worry about it here in a minute.
Lewis Black does a hilarious take on preparing for the colonoscopy, which to me is the worst part.
Well,
you're not supposed to upstage me and come up with some new technology that I don't know about.
Well, I was like, all right, I saw those, and then I was like, oh, I forgot about it. I got self-healing on my fucking thing, and I thought it was interesting, and I thought, you might pull that up or something. But no, your topics were good.
Oh, you ever played Resident Evil?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Well, when we were at the party, we were talking to this girl, and she said that the Resident Evil on the virtual reality headsets is like it's like a nightmare. You put them on, and they're all around you, and you can see everywhere with the virtual reality. Mm-mm. She goes, oh, it's like a video game on steroids.
Is this Dottie?
Real bad. No, this is Dottie's granddaughter, and she does animatronics.
Who's 70?
She does animatronics.
Oh, granddaughter. So
yeah.
She'd be 60.
She's about 20, 25.
Jesus.
Well, Dottie's son was born when she was 40. So, but she does animatronics, and she was talking about the virtual reality. Some of the games in that are just like incredible. So, I have some that I put my old Note phone in and run, and they were pretty cool. You know, with so much going on, you know, with COVID, you forget about the 93,000 people died last year of overdoses.
Like opioids and stuff?
Yeah.
Holy Guinness Stout.
That was a couple years ago. We went out, took her out for lunch.
Send that to me and title it Dottie, and I'll put it up on the Is This Going Somewhere thing.
Yeah, we went out, took her out for lunch. We drove to Raleigh, and we said, and she goes, and she went into the pub. She goes, do you have dark Guinness? He goes, yeah, give me a tall, dark. She drank the whole thing. She was fine.
No, she was talking about a tall, dark man.
No, she said a Guinness.
She wanted a tall black man. You ready?
What are we heading into?
We're going into I'm going to take this phone. I need to put it in airplane mode. That's what I need to do. Airplane mode there. We're going to go into free HIV pill. We'll talk about monkeypox. I want to talk about Is This Going Somewhere? I'm going to drop that in there since I teased it a little bit, and then having the colonoscopy, and we'll play her video. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Is that you?
No. Oh, might have been.
You ready?
Yes.
Okay. So much stuff going on. So much stuff going on. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Over to my far right hand side is IT Dan with his vibrating. What do you got going on over there with your phone?
I got a text from my wife.
Is she already worried about you? You've only left the house a couple hours ago.
Something about the divorce lawyer.
Oh.
I don't know what it is. So.
I'll deal with that later when you get home, right?
Maybe she says I just don't pay attention. I
Right.
don't know.
Now, for those of you who don't know, myself and Dan, IT Dan, do a darker conversation podcast called Is This Going Somewhere? We talk about more serious topics, more diving in. This is kind of light and joke and funny and stuff. And for those of you who just need a break from their everyday media streams and news streams, we just trying to keep it light and fluffy. But if you want to hear like darker conversations about what's going on in his life and our life and what's going on in the economy and stuff, that's called Is This Going Somewhere too?
Yes, and I think you'll like it.
Yeah, it's really good. We do it in seasons. Each season is 19 episodes long. They're real short. Some of them are 7 minutes long. Some of them are 30 minutes long. And we're in season 5 right now. So check that out. And you can find them on iHeartRadio or anywhere that you download podcasts as well. Now, Dan.
Yes.
You've got your vaccine.
Yes. Both of them.
And you got both of them. And you had the Moderna.
Yes.
Funky cold Moderna. Now, you have, of course, you have health insurance. Now, the shots were not covered. It's not a covered. It's
free.
It's free. Yeah, anyone can get it. Now, for many, many years, I mean, there was a whole taboo thing about HIV and AIDS. Now, it would never hit the heterosexual community. And then one of the main staples to face is Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson came out and said, I have HIV. And the whole world goes, wow, how can, this, we thought it was a gay disease and it only transfer between men and women and women. But now
changes everything.
And that changes everything. It's kind of like Tom Hanks Day. When Tom Hanks, the COVID-19, our, family, our boyhood hero, Tom Hanks got COVID-19. It made everything a little bit more realistic.
Closer to home.
So right now, insurance have been advised that they should not be charging for Truvada, what is that word?
Truvada and Descovy.
As HIV prevention. I'm going to get these words right at some time. And associated clinic visits and labs also must be free. So, Dan, read this. What they're trying to do is they're trying to make these HIV preventative. Now, they're not like if you have them. These are preventative pills from getting. Now, of course, abstinence is the best policy. Condoms or any kind of protection from there is second. And then if you accidentally have unprotected sex or whatever, blood transfusion. It doesn't have to be sex. Anytime you exchange either semen or body fluids like that, not saliva, that you're protected as well.
And that's a good idea. So, in a move that is expected to prove transformative to the national HIV prevention effort, the federal government has announced that almost all health insurers must cover the HIV prevention pill known as PrEP, or pre-exposure prophylaxis, with no cost sharing, including for the drug itself and, crucially, for clinic visits and lab tests. This means the entire experience of maintaining a prescription for that is going to be free. I think that's a great idea. So.
Go ahead, right there.
Yeah, a prescribing physician, however, must persuade the insurer that the SCOVY in particular is medically necessary for any specific patient to qualify for zero cost sharing during the drug's use as HIV prevention. And insurers were already required to stop charging for out-of-pocket fees for the medication by January 1st, 2021 at the latest. So,
So there you go. I mean, it's getting better. You know, they say our worldwide healthcare in the United States is horrible because it's all about the almighty dollar. But I think right now, I don't know if this happened during this administration, last administration, or was this a ball that was at the top of the hill and it slowly rolled down and now here we are?
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know how you would, I suppose if you're having unprotected sex with any other person, you should be going and getting this, which is kind of crazy. I don't know how you can say, well, I think that I'm at risk for this when, it's just a question I have. You think you're at risk for something when you have no way of knowing what the other person has or whether they have herpes, whether they have HIV or
so
not.
Think of the bigger picture on this. So let's say, for example, and here just because from my own personal experience, not me personally, but I've lived and been around addicts. IV addicts, people who used to shoot heroin, used to shoot all the...
now that makes sense that way.
So let's say this person's trying to be responsible, does the needle exchange and does all that stuff, and says, hey, look, at one time I think I might come across this type of thing. Can I have these pills so I don't get HIV?
Okay, I can die from my addiction, but I don't want HIV on top of it.
Right.
Okay.
And my friend who actually did end up passing away, not from addiction or anything like that, well, I guess in a sense he took his own life. He actually got hepatitis from he tried and didn't share needles, and he shared needles maybe once or two. I say maybe once. Who knows what goes through his mind? But yeah, he shared needles and he ended up getting hepatitis. So.
Oh.
Now, more than 200 people. Now, everyone was worried about the COVID-19 when it first came out. They were saying there was news reports over in China, over in Wuhan, where people were walking around like zombies and just falling in the streets. And it happened this is how the whole pandemic started. And no, they couldn't explain anything. They say they were like Walking Dead and people were passing away. And it just kind of it was like back page, of Underneath the Fold Part 2 in the newspaper. You know what I mean? You understand what all that means?
Yeah. Something flies under the radar.
Right. So... And then all of a sudden, it comes across the land, and we were talking earlier about, Tom Hanks got it, and all of a sudden, boom, now that it's in the forefront. Anyone or no one is immune to this COVID-19 virus.
Unless you have your vaccine.
Unless you have your vaccine. Now, this new thing that's coming out, and I don't know if I want to say you heard it here first, but here is what's happening right now. And it's not another strain, believe me, the Delta Force or whatever all the different COVID strains are. This right here is totally different. More than 200 people in the United States being monitored for possible monkeypox exposure, the CDC says. More than 200 people in 27 states are being monitored for the possibility of exposure of monkeypox after they had contacted with an individual who contracted the disease in Nigeria before traveling to the United States. Great. To date, no additional cases have been detected. The state and local authorities are working on the CDC to identify the asses of individuals and following up with them on a daily until late last month. So there's another disease that's out there called the monkeypox. It is a lot of people 200 and some odd people. The efforts stem from a discovery of the U.S. residents infected with monkeypox traveled from Lagos, Nigeria, on an overnight flight to Atlanta. Well, that's how kind of COVID-19 got here, too. Now, this just happened July 9th that this person is getting into the monkeypox thing, and it almost looks like fish scales on your hands.
Yeah, and how does it spread?
Let's see. Efforts to stem the discovery, infection, travel from the diagnosis. All right. Number sat within 6 feet of the infected person. Others used a mid-cabin bathroom on the flight. Airlines were clean the bathroom after the flight. Passengers, monkeypox is caused by a virus related to smallpox. So I'm not quite sure. I don't see anywhere where it says how it spreads. Do you see anywhere, Dan?
No, I'm not seeing.
The disease triggers fevers, chills, swollen glands, characteristics of a rash that is disseminated across the body, including the palms of the hands and soles of the feet. I think Paul, what's his name? Paul Simon had a song called that, Diamonds on the Soles of His Feet.
Yeah.
The incubation period of monkeypox from time to time exposure, the symptoms can be 17 days. It still doesn't say how it's transferred. So how does
I think what you're pretty much saying is that we should stay in the house. Drink light beer and stay in the house.
I guess so. Now, one thing, you guys know my trials and tribulations with my nurse practitioner. She's not a real doctor. She's a nurse practitioner. And she's got her own agenda. She's got her own mental agenda. And when I say that is because she wants me to do this like intermediate fasting. She wants me to do all this other stuff and don't eat, you've taught your whole entire life, eat, fruits and vegetables from the earth. And I make fruits and vegetable smoothies and then she tells you, no, that's the candy. That's Mother Nature's candy. It's got too much sugar and stuff in it. Well, shit, I don't know what to do anymore.
Yeah, I still think, I don't think that's going to raise you. It does sugar in it, but there's sugar that can make your diabetes go bad, and there's sugar that's natural sugar. I think that makes a difference.
Well, anything I do to her, I guess, is wrong. Now, she said this last appointment that I had, she said that, that the whatever our facilities say that, you don't have to get a colonoscopy, and what's the other one through the mouth?
Endoscopy through the mouth.
All right. Don't have to get those now until you're 49. So I said, all right, fine. She's like, all right, so we'll put you up. We'll schedule you for next year. All right, great. So 2 weeks after the appointment, of course, you heard my trials and tribulations. Someone calls me and says, we're ready for you for your appointment. And I'm like going, no, wait. They mess it all up. And not that I wouldn't have gone. I just was not prepared for it because what is it all involved, like the prep for it and stuff, Dan? Because you've been through it. You have been through it.
I've had 2 or 3 of them. The first day, and they're getting better. The day before, you have to drink some liquids that usually taste horrible, and then you run and you sit in the toilet. And
do you sit in the toilet or sit in the bathroom?
You sit on the toilet. You grab yourself a good book like War and Peace, something that's got 900 pages, and you sit there, and everything comes out of you, even the salad you had in 1963, it goes right through you. Once you get that is the worst part. The next day you go in, they give you a shot, and you get a beautiful, wonderful sleep, and they shove about 56 inches of half-inch tubing up your butt, and nobody minds that. They don't have a problem with that.
So, I mean, are you dehydrated when you if you're crapping out like just straight liquid?
Well,
Are you?
I think you can drink liquids only, but it cleans everything out. And actually, it's really not a bad experience. Just it's the day before. That's the whole thing.
So, a good friend of ours here at the station, she came out of, literally just came out of the anesthesia, and her roommate, boyfriend, whatever he is, brought her home, and so she's still a little daisical here. And this is Danielle Souza, and she went straight to Facebook Live to let everyone know, hey, this is what happened, this is what's going on, this is how quickly it was and how painless it was. And the way you see this video is go to properradio.com, click on Deacon Live, and for every podcast we do have a matching video as well. Now let me make sure, this is what I didn't want to do. That's my problem right there. I'm going to switch screens here so everyone can see this. And here we go.
It's over. I did it. We're all done. I am already home. So that was really, really, really fast.
So this is Facebook Live, so you can see it doesn't match up. It'll sync up here in a little bit.
I'm just a little bubble gut feeling. Legs were super, super weak, and I'm back in bed. Joey put me back in bed, and I'm having a cup of coffee because that was the number one thing that I wanted the most. The prep isn't even that bad. The prep is probably the worst part because you're so hungry. I was hangry. I was so hangry last night. And if you're like the mom, you know, when you're doing all the cooking for everybody else, that can get really irritating because you can't eat anything. And you're making stuff for everybody else, so it's like... But it's fine. Like, I'm not even hungry at all. I don't even... A cup of coffee's fine. I can definitely tell that I'm full. If you know what I mean. So I had the endoscopy and colonoscopy done at the same time. And I'm fine. Just like, I just have like the bubble gut. Hi, Travis. I look good. Well, I'm still like very, very woozy. Very, very, very woozy. So I'm just gonna chillax. That's it. But that, yeah, it was really easy peasy. The last thing I said was, okay, I'm a little nervous, and that was it. I woke up, and next thing I know, I was waking up, and time to go. So it's a really easy, gassy. Oh yeah, there's definitely something going on.
Now, did you have gas, Dan?
Probably a little bit, but
definitely stuff moving around in there for sure. But nothing too crazy. There's just like bubble gut. You know what I mean? Like when you have bubble gut. But that's it so far. So, but it's an easy. They didn't find any polyps. Yay! They said my colon looks gorgeous.
Dan, what did they say your colon looked like?
oh, they said they had a few polyps and they removed them. But
Now, how do they remove them?
They have little cutter. They can cut them when they're up there.
What, like a Swiss Army knife or something?
Yes, they have a little guy that
It really is. The worst part about it is not eating. And plus, my procedure was so late in the day. Like, if you have your procedure, like, in the morning, it's a piece of cake. You know? I had to go... My last meal was Saturday night was the last time I could eat anything. And then Sunday morning when you wake up is when you start, like, your liquid diet. All day. So they said I had a fine... Yes. So they said I had a fine ass. Yes, exactly. So the worst part about it, I'm live. So the worst part of, she blew my vein out. Oh yeah, the nurse blew my vein. So that's probably the worst part.
What's blowing the vein out, Dan?
Probably when she put the needle in, she didn't put it in correctly.
No.
Honest to goodness,
Had to do it a
is
couple
the
times.
Not eating and just being like hangry. You know, that's the worst part about it. Other than that, piece of cake, piece of pie, and I got bubble gut. That's it. I got gas. so that's it.
Well, there you go. And she goes on and says, you know, that she didn't drive. She had a friend of hers that picked her up and
you
brought
need
her home.
someone. You need someone to drive you there and take you home because
She said that the actual appointment or the actual procedure only took like an hour. Like by the time she sat down, they put the needle on her, and she said, "I feel a little woozy," and then she was out. And then an hour later, she's up, and then she's out the door. Now, I hate to be real technical, but I'm going to get technical. Are you sore?
No, you don't feel a thing. You do not feel
like
you don't
your
feel
butt
sore.
doesn't feel like you got swamp ass or anything back there.
No, it doesn't feel like you were just in a gay porn movie or anything. It's fine.
Oh, it doesn't feel like that. Well, then I'm okay with it. Then because those gay porn movies, man, they're a pain in the ass, literally.
My buddy Tony could not say colonoscopy. We tried to say colonoscopy, tell him slow, break it down. No, and then Howie just calls it an innuendo.
That's what happens with money.
Yeah, but definitely, if your doctor recommends it, go for it. It's a lot. You do not want to have colon cancer. That's painful.
Well, I'm sold, and I'd like to thank Danielle Souza for sharing her video with us. I told her we put it on the air, and we talk about because it saves what an ounce of preventative is a ton of
cure.
Ton of cure. All right, when we come back, Dan, let's wreck some cars. You ready to wreck some cars?
Oh yeah, I'm always not my truck, but I'll wreck a car.
We'll wreck some cars when we come back. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back.
So where do you know her from?
Just friend of a Facebook.
Because I saw how she said Travis.
Oh, because when she was doing the live, I was asking her all the questions.
Oh.
You know, who picked you up, how long did it take, and that stuff. So when I popped up, she was like, she does like the makeup videos. You know, you ever seen like the people that and buy my makeup kit, and only these two are 50% off if you.
She's an influencer?
No, she's not an influencer.
She sells stuff, though.
She sells stuff online.
I hate those people who sell stuff online. They're the worst.
They are the worst. And you can too for only $12.99. Oh, let's go. Let's get our next set up. All right, we'll come back. We'll crash some cars. We are at, let's see what our time is at. Oh, we're at 1 hour already. God damn it.
Well, we got to do Assassin's Creed. That's the most important thing.
That is.
And
all right, we'll talk briefly about the car crashes.
Stolen Corvette going to be, and those are all vehicles.
Yeah, this is all vehicle stuff, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about Assassin's Creed, Netflix, and the YouTube, and then we'll wrap it up with the. So we'll do like real quick segments here. Okay. So we're not going to spend a whole lot of time telling stories or anything. We'll just jump into them. But I need to pull up the stories so I can get them. Dukes of Hazzard shit. That's a good one.
I never watched the show, but that car that they had in there, the General Lee.
Yeah, they had like 15 of them.
Yes, well, I had that same car. That was probably one of the nicer cars I ever had when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah. 69 Dodge Charger. I'd love to have one again. If I had.
Oh, man. Oh, that one. What was that one? No, the reason why I said sit back.
I was breathing?
No, you were. I could hear you on the. And while she's talking, I was like, if you're going to make noise, back up. Let's see.
Yeah, it's from nervous being around you.
That's all right. I know I make people nervous. Ford Bronco. Let's talk about that.
Is it a white Ford Bronco?
Nope. Okay. It's the new Bronco that's coming out. Corvette that was stolen.
Little red Corvette.
We did the Endo. Butt saltines. Stolen Corvette, next generation Jeep.
I've never owned a Jeep.
I don't like Jeeps. Unless someone gave me a Ranger, I would take that. But
if I had one of the small ones, like the 2-seater one, the roll bar, and the small one, is that a Wrangler?
Yeah. Oh, see, they took that off. Let's see, Dukes of Hazzard shit. Car crashes are back. There's one that says actual story.
Go use the facilities.
Okay.
I didn't see your recyclable bin up there. Did you tip it over?
No, it's on the left. I moved it.
And I said, I'm doing this good because I'm making it sound like I'm just talking about it.
Yeah, like you know about it. So what I'll do, and this will be my key, is anytime I do this, that's your cue to read that.
So I got to be alert?
You don't have to be alert. But anytime you see me, like when I'm talking, I'll talk about this. And anytime I go like whatever like that, you'll read that part.
Okay.
Ah, shit. I didn't mean to click on that.
So I have a dilemma. I have a JetBlue credit card. And if I have to spend $1,000 in 90 days, and pay it off, and then I'll get like $975 worth of free mileage from JetBlue. So I have to turn around and every time I do something, use my JetBlue card. You know, like I had to stop at Lowe's and buy $9 here.
And then pay it off when the bill comes in.
Yeah.
All right.
But usually I just buy stuff. I don't have to say I have to spend this amount of money.
I guess I shouldn't put that up there so everyone can see it.
So you're not going to highlight it till you're ready for that moment for me to start talking?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ready?
I'm ready.
It's a beer. Oh, Jesus.
What happened?
It was suctioned to the bottom of the
coaster or something?
The sweat coming off of it. Yeah. All right.
Great. We're going to have ocean in here.
Welcome back to Deacon Live. Make sure you follow us on all your social networks, and the way you do that is go over to Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio. Click on the social contacts, and while you're there, you want some free stuff? Of course you do. Everyone wants free stuff. Click on that and fill out a little form. We'll send you some free stickers. I bought some new stickers coming in, Dan.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing them.
So get your tongue ready. Make sure it's all salivated up. You got a lot of envelopes to be licking here in the next couple weeks.
I think we're going to go with Mr. Sponge this time.
Are you doing Mr. I told you to do Mr. Sponge, didn't I? It works better, doesn't it?
Yes.
All right, and don't forget, all the musical artists that you hear on this Deacon Live are unsigned artists. They are independent artists, and make sure you show them some love and show some appreciation as they have shown for us as well. And the way you do that is go to Prophet Radio on the landing page there. You can see all their little logos and stuff. Click on that, and you can hear their full-length songs as well. Now, Dan, you bought a new truck. You bought my old truck.
Yes.
And
New to me.
I was going to say old truck. It was a 2011 Chevy Silverado. It was the LT Chrome package is what it was.
Well, I love it.
And Dan is very happy with it. Now, Jeep. Are you a big Jeep fan?
Never owned a Jeep.
Jeep teases its next generation of cars will be able to drive underwater. Jeep teases this amphibious SUV for 2030 will be able to actually drive underwater. I think the government's saying that they want all the cars to be electric by, 2025 or something like that?
I think a percentage of them.
Yeah.
Not all of them.
So redefining what off-road really means. Now, I'm a big fan of the Jeep Wrangler. And you said during the break you were talking about you want the old school mash Jeep with the front that folds down.
And then the roll bar. If I was going to have one, it would be just one for putting around. Yeah.
And you want like Klinger to be driving it.
No.
Now the guy across the street, catty corner from us, if you're lucky, you'll see him. He's got one of those Jeeps. But it is bright neon yellow, and he drives it around. It's a little 3-speed, and it's an old military Jeep that he spray painted. And I say spray painted. He had it professionally painted, but it is lemon yellow, and he drives over here now and then. But he drives around. He's got 82 acres over there, and you'll hear him putt around. It sounds just like in the movies, like an old Volkswagen engine driving around over there. So maybe one day you'll see him if you're lucky across the street. But Jeep has teased something about during the next extended cut of its new, what is that word right there?
Stellantis.
EV, which is electric vehicle, day promotional video with an amphibious SUV compatible or capable of driving under the water.
Yeah, right at the end of the video, you can see the announced Jeep driving underwater with fish swimming around, with the company, of course, stating, fictionalization, do not attempt. I know how Jeep would love to be able to sell a car that you could drive underwater as shown in the video, because what happens if the car malfunctions and you're stuck underwater? The future electronic vehicle will be airtight, obviously, so we can expect an engineering feat from Jeep to be able to pull it off. I'm sure we'll hear Tesla talk about underwater EVC soon. That'll come, but I don't know. The future Jeep driving underwater is certain level, I guess, is okay, but now fully amphibious. It's kind of crazy.
It is crazy. Now, I remember Volkswagen, I had a 1970 Volkswagen Beetle, and there was a rumor when those came out that those would actually, if you ran them into the water, they would
float. They weren't very heavy. So.
They weren't very heavy, but they would float. Unfortunately, the floor pans, anyone who's had a Volkswagen Beetle back in anywhere from the 50s to, I think, 82 is when they stopped making them. The floor pans would rust out completely. So there, a lot of holes there.
Yeah, and the problem I see with a vehicle going underwater is first you have to have air intake for it's electric, But they still got to have some kind of exhaust, I would think, out of an electric engine.
I don't know. I don't know, Dan. But you know what? There's a new car that's come back. Now, we know about O.J. Simpson. Well, actually, we know about Bill Cosby being released, and we know about O.J. Simpson, and they're like
The white Bronco.
public enemy number 1 and 2 right there. You know, did they do it? Did they not do it? So the white Bronco was a big thing, and Ford actually took the Bronco off the market. And do you know what they replaced the Ford Bronco with?
Well, no, I'm not sure what they call it.
So Ford came out, they pulled all the Bronco, because they had the Bronco and the Bronco 2, which was a smaller version.
Oh, the Explorer?
Nope. And it's suiting for the name of actually what happened with the white Bronco. They came out with the Ford Escape.
Oh, Escape?
Yeah, that was the car that replaced the Ford Bronco, believe it or not. I know it's kind of cliche.
No, I can't believe I learned something from you.
So right now, Ford is coming. They say, okay, the Bronco name is now safe. We can come back and make the Ford Broncos, and they're going to make it like those FJs. Have you seen the Toyota FJs? Those like desert-looking vehicles. They sold them like in the early 2000s.
Oh, yeah, I vaguely remember.
Yeah. So they're coming out with the Ford Bronco. Now, Ford reveals the Bronco's nameplate has been a huge off-road for the enthusiasts. After all, United States really hasn't had a two-door trail-compatible SUV since the Jeep, and Bronco was last sold in 1996. That was during the whole time.
Well, as buyers settle with the new toy, some who opted for hardtop Broncos are finding that quality isn't quite up to stuff. You know, you have damage, deformatories, durability problems being reported all over the Bronco 6G forums, and it's been covered on sites and called jalopnik as many owners just dissatisfied with the brand new blue oval.
So they've come out with this new Bronco, and it's got either a soft top or a hard top. Now the hard tops, what's happening is they're falling apart. The hard tops are falling apart.
Yeah, I mean, word of these problems spread slowly over the past weeks. They post photos of their Broncos molded in color, hard tops, a variety of problems. Some photos, I've seen some of the photos, they showed misaligned latches and sagging headliners where they had scratches, dents, even raw material.
So I think, in my opinion, they fall into the whole COVID, everyone not working. The reason why they can't get my truck made is because of the computer chips. So maybe they kind of cut a couple short ends. So the guy at the front of the assembly line, who's putting the tires on, he literally has to run around to the end of the assembly line and quickly assemble the top at the same time. So it's just like rat race that you're doing with these guys at the Ford, the GM plants trying to assemble these things. And of course, they're paying the price. The tops aren't matching up. The clips. I mean, you're going to spend $45,000 on a quote unquote Bronco. I mean,
yeah, you want quality. I don't care how you do it.
Now, a lot of people spend a lot of money on, what is this right here? Oh. A lot of people spend a lot of money on some cars that I think, in my opinion, just aren't very
practical.
Practical is exactly the term I'm looking for, but they still buy them. Stealing a car right from a dealership also might not be a smart play if you're the thief, particularly one if you just seen the movie Gone in 60 Seconds. This gentleman right here, from a Detroit parking lot, or not a used car lot, brand new car lot, stole a Corvette C8 Stingray from Nova. Where's Nova? I guess it's in Detroit. Do you know where that's at?
It's in Nova. It's in Michigan.
It's in Michigan. So right here.
Yeah, the incident occurred just before 10 a.m. on July 15th, and the Michigan police were notified of stolen Corvette thanks to the built-in GM OnStar system.
Now your truck has the OnStar system.
Yes.
So this guy stole this Corvette off the lot, and
OnStar's going to tell everyone where he is. Yeah.
Now the only thing that they didn't do, because what happened was this Corvette was speeding across the road and actually slammed into a van. Now normally OnStar can shut the engine off and just shut everything down, but because they didn't report it right away or something like that.
It may be that you have to register the vehicle and it get registered a certain way.
Well, no, it came straight from the dealership. Yeah. So read this right here.
Yeah, the chase was a short one with the driver apparently sideswiping a van on I-75 Service Drive and crashing into vehicles parked on the side of the road. Dashcam footage from the police cruiser shows the Corvette destroyed by the impact, with heavy damage to the front fender, several wheels missing, and a rear bumper. Body cam footage shows police apprehending a suspect on foot, with subsequent reports stating both the driver and the passenger were taken into custody. They're also interviewing the suspects with regards to other crimes, but, the Corvette has a fiberglass body. It's going to shatter.
The only metal is the actual motor, if that.
And the frame. Yeah.
Interesting enough, despite the GM's OnStar system having the capability of disabling the stolen vehicle, it wasn't used in this case. Procedures state that the feature can only be activated once the police report has been submitted to OnStar, making the system somewhat less useful than the heat of the moment situations like this. So, is there you think...
Well, it's dangerous any way you do it.
Well, think about it this way. So the guy stole this Corvette from a lot that's got OnStar in it. And I'm just, I'm Deacon, Mrs. Deacon, and all the little deacons in the back is driving down the road, and it's a high-speed pursuit. Of course, the police now know not to do this anymore because what happens?
Innocent lives.
So do you think... I think, in my opinion, the people that the guy crashed into, you had every opportunity, OnStar, to shut this vehicle down in hot pursuit instead of it slamming into my van, my minivan.
I think the software is set up that you have to report it stolen first, and that's going to be time frame. And this is like, this happens, we're going to wait half an hour for all the paperwork to go through.
Bring, bring. Yeah. Detroit, Michigan Police Department. I have a Corvette that was stolen off my lot. Okay. I mean, that's what the first call is. It was stolen off your lot.
Yeah. And come here and fill out this form in triplicate and stuff like that. And we need some blood from you.
Oh, we'll send someone down there with the paperwork and stuff. So that's horrible. Now, in the same sense, accidents on the streets are happening, and they're happening a lot more just because we're out there right now. I mean, it's the new trend. Everyone's smashing into everyone because we're not used to driving. I remember when we just lifted the face mask, driving around. The streets were empty. It was nice. And now I forgot how to drive. It was so long for me to figure out and get my whole rhythm back to driving.
I would go 2 weeks without driving and get in the vehicle and say, okay, yep, I remember how to do this.
So those are the new trends that's happening right now, because you're going to see a lot more accidents, just normal fender benders, people not paying attention. Forget the common rules of the road. Now, in this video right here, the way you see this video is go to ProfitRadio.com, click on DeaconLive. You're going to want to see this video. So, car crashes take many different forms, as we know with the Corvette slamming in the other vehicle. Around 7:19 a.m. local time on July 14th, a speeding Toyota Camry in Yuba City, California, was caught on camera as it flew through the air and landed on the hard pavement below. Now,
is that like a Dukes of Hazzard thing?
It almost looked like a Duke of Hazzard thing. So, if you're watching this video, I mean, Dan, you can see
wow.
How high is that car in the air?
Oh, that's got to be 15 feet off the ground.
So,
estimate.
If you want to see this video, this gentleman right here was actually driving around with his dashboard cam. He must have been an Uber driver or something like that. And
I want to see it.
You want to see the video? And the way you see this video is go to ProfitRadio.com, click on DeaconLive, and you can see this video as well. So here we go. You ready? And we'll blow this up real nice and big so everyone can see. I don't know if there's sound or anything, so here we go. Oh, they're talking. Are you driving? Just a normal city road. He's driving around.
Yeah, he's not driving erratically.
Nope. He's just driving. And he's going through a neighborhood. Listen to some Jason Aldean going through the neighborhood.
Looks like he's doing about 60, I would say.
Yeah, he's going about 60. He's getting ready to jump out on the highway here, so there's a stop ahead. And there's this big, huge embankment on the left-hand side. Now, if you watch real closely... I'll play it one more time. Here he goes. This is the reaction in the car.
You see the smoke coming out of the car when it was in midair.
911, 911. 911. Where's the phone? I'm glad you said something.
Get out of the way, please. Get out of
Now the car, they stopped short. They stopped short, and the car's laying in front of them. Smoking.
Nobody was in there. Yeah.
Oh my
Yes,
gosh.
not on
Like,
fire, but
Well, honey, just hold on. Just hold it. Leave it this way here.
Let me get out of
You're not going to be able to do much.
Get out of the way, please.
So they get out. Everyone rushes out there.
And it's on the, yeah, it's right on Onstadt Road. Right as soon as the four-way stop sign is right there.
Okay, what's the description of the vehicle?
It's a white car, I think. I didn't get off because it's on fire.
It's on fire. So the car was driving between 80 to 100 miles an hour on the near Highway 99 right before the crash. A particular stretch of road which runs adjacent to the MIS, wherever that's at. Has a speed of 25 miles an hour.
that's just a suggestion. Just
Okay,
a
yeah.
suggestion.
So let's see. Does it say what actually happened? The employees across the destination quickly learned that wasn't the case. It turns out the California. So it ran. See here, right here. So this road right here. If you're watching this on the video, here's the planned thing. So this road right here on staff road, this person must have been driving straight on, and it's one of those just hairpin turns that kind of bends to the left and bends to the right. This person went straight through it and flew right over the embankment and right onto Peace Road.
They had to be texting or just not even looking at it.
But that I mean, it's a side road. The person was doing 80 to get that car launched that high in the air, Dan. I mean, there's one thing to hit the brakes and then, kind of rumble down the offset, the median off to the side. But this car was launched. I mean, literally in the air. I mean, he was and then hits the ground and flips over.
Yeah.
So, geez.
Yeah, we saw a car flip over about 6 times, rest in the medium strip and spinning around in a circle, and the guy was drunk. He didn't. He was fine.
He was all lubed up. He was ready to go. All right, when we come back, speaking of lubed up and ready to go, I know you guys are ready to get back to what you got to do. We're going to take one more little quick break and come back and do the weird and unusual, and then we'll wrap up the show and let you guys get back to what you got to do. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back.
What about Assassin's Creed?
I'm going to get there.
That's not weird.
It is.
Wonderful, though. I had to go on the other side of the road today, going over to, there's not a day goes by that I don't have to drive, either slow down so the person has time to get back on their own side of the road, or, and I'm not like driving around saying, gee, I got to watch out for everyone. I'm just, as my regular driving out. I had to pull over today because somebody was driving there. They had, one wheel and probably the headlight over on my side of the road. And that was just in your driveway. How do you like everything so far today? Pretty good?
Good, yeah.
A few hiccups, but...
Well, that one little hookup, that's just me. I messed that one up, but that's my own fault. Are you ready?
Rookie mistake.
Coming back?
I'm back.
Welcome back to Deacon Live. You want some free swag? Of course, you want some free swag. Get yourself some free swag, and make sure you follow us on all your social networks. And the way you do all of this is go over to Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio. Click on all that stuff and surf around in there. There's a lot of cool things to look at. All the musical artists that you hear on the Deacon Live, you can see all theirs. All their social pages, and make sure you like them and follow them as well. And over to my far right hand side is IT Dan. Hi.
Yes. Hi, how are you today?
Now, Dan, you're a big fan of video games. You always ask me, did you play video games today? I'm like, no, Dan. Tuesdays and half of Thursdays, my video playing game.
Yeah, well, I play Assassin's Creed right now, but I only play it 2 times, when I'm alone and when I'm with somebody. I've been playing it quite a bit lately, so.
So Assassin's Creed, there's a lot of stuff coming out with Assassin's Creed. And the reason why I say that is because, I guess, who makes Assassin's Creed?
Ubisoft. From Canada.
From Canada, eh? A few people said that the game was actually cursed. Now, I want you to read all this stuff right here because this is all about the new game and how it came out to be and some updates that are happening right now.
Okay, the Skull and Bones development began back in 2013 as a multiplayer expansion to Assassin's Creed 4, which is Black Flag.
Now tell me what Assassin's Creed, the concept of the game. Is it a space game? Is it a driving game?
It's set back in time. You have medieval times back when you're in Norway and England with the Vikings raiding England in Valhalla. You have Odyssey, which is back in Greece, set back about 700 AD, and you have Origins, which is set in Egypt. Black Flag happens to be pirates.
Is it?
Pirates and ships.
So Ubisoft says it's ambiguous games. What? I'm sorry. Read that for me there.
Yeah, Ubisoft says it's ambitious games as a service. Assassin's Creed Infinity will still have high production stories and narratives, and I guess this is going to be something where it's going to be ever evolving and changing.
So it'll never die, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah, they're going to just keep adding on to it. Like there's a couple expansions they've already done with Valhalla. Well, they've got one out. The next one's coming soon. Yeah, the game made a big splash with an on-stage reveal and hands-on demo at E3 2017, and returned a year later with a second polished demo, but has since disappeared. Sources are split over what happened. Some say despite the well-received E3 blowouts, the game effectively didn't exist. Others argue that a version that was playable at industry events could have launched roughly on time for early access and matured in the wild as other games as a service have. Years later, the game is still struggling to take shape and people are running on empty. A lot of stuff still doesn't make sense, said one former developer. Just polishing at this point would be a waste of time.
So how do you feel? Are you waiting for the updates? Are you at that point? Are you waiting for the new one to come out? Or are you still playing the old ones?
I'm still playing the other game. I still have enough games to keep me busy, but there's people that have ran through all these things and are anxiously waiting for it. So.
Well, good. And so people are waiting for a lot of things. And during the springtime, we were talking about going swimming and everything. What is this? I didn't mean to click on that.
Is this your first week here?
It's my second week here. Oh, right here. So last week we talked about the fair rides that pop up in like parking lots.
Okay,
you know, and
they're overnight. They're there for 2 weeks and gone.
So here in North Carolina, now for those of you who don't know, we broadcast just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, a beautiful little town we like to call Marshville. The North Carolina State Fair introduces Sensory Friendly Day. Now, Dan, does that make sense to you? Sensory Friendly?
Well, they're all words that I know, but no, it doesn't.
Not in that order? Yeah. So there's a show on Netflix called Atypical, and it talks about a husband and wife that deals with an excelling child and one that's on the spectrum. And is very, very smart. And it's a sensory overload. So the North Carolina State Fair announces it will reserve a special day for people with sensory aversions that can be traditionally like noises and lights and difficult to deal with. So what they do is you ever been to a fair and it's always like blaring rock and roll music or
lights? It's an event, like a rock concert.
Yeah, it is. And so people that are on the spectrum or have that sensory overload tend not to attend these things. Or even some people like me, just like going, can I just walk through here and just play a game and ride a ride without all the? But it's not as fun. I understand that.
Oh, no, I think it's good they're thinking outside the box to help somebody out. I don't like to, I'll see a show where they go into a club and all the lights flash and all the people screaming and it's like I couldn't go there. I couldn't last there 1 minute.
So North Carolina State Fair announced that they're calling this day called Accessibility Day, and they will look out a little bit different from 8 p.m. or 8 a.m. till noon on October 17th. This is coming up here in this year. Rides and games will open at 9 a.m. and will operate with no lights or music playing. Vendors will operate with no lights or music playing in their booths. Music stages will play only acoustic sets with light amplification. The public address system will only be used for lost visitors and announcements. Instead of going, all right, come on up and play the selling wheel and win your can of pretty chai.
Yeah, I think this is nice inclusion thing. That's a good news story. So.
Yeah, so
I won't be there.
You won't be there. But I mean, it might be a great chance to take special needs, just not even just
people autistic,
not people that are autistic, just people that are like have a sensory overload. Because you don't think of like if you're in a wheelchair, and Christ, you and I would never know what it feels like to be in a wheelchair. Maybe they could be the smartest whip in the shed, but that sensory overload might cause them,
Yeah, some of these people are probably more intelligent and stuff, and they just
more intelligent than me. I know that for sure. Now,
but that's a good news.
Yeah, that is good news. Now, Dan, you say at night you drink a glass of wine or anything like that.
Usually I have half a glass of wine, maybe a glass of wine.
Now, do you like beer at all or no?
No, I'm not a beer drinker.
No? Even in your younger days?
I drank beer, but I didn't like the taste of it. I drank it because I wanted to get drunk. Yeah.
So it's the quickest way to get a buzz for you.
Yes, that was it.
So Budweiser is...
What else are you going to do when you're 10 years old,
So Budweiser is introducing... Now, are you familiar with... We were talking about snacks and everything. Yeah. Are you familiar with what they call them? Rap snacks? They're rap artists that have like a bag of chips or something like that named after them.
Oh, just marketing.
It is marketing. Now, here's another marketing scheme or thing that's coming out. Budweiser introduces a limited edition Notorious B.I.G. Are you familiar with him?
Yeah, rapper.
He's a rapper, and they're 3-pack. You ever seen the 3-pack tall boy cans that are wrapped in like cellophane or something like? They're like 24 ounces and they're shrunk wrapped together.
No, I haven't.
No, you haven't been in those stores.
No, it's something I'm not buying it, so I don't look in there. That's all.
The following product from Budweiser should be preferred as this.
This goes out to you,
yeah,
Dan,
you,
and you.
Dan, read that for me.
From the greatest MC to ever live, the Notorious B.I.G. That's because the beer company has collaborated with the Christopher Wallace estate to debut new tall boy cans emblazoned with the artwork depicting the late, great Biggie Smalls himself. Besides the can being available exclusively in New York, here's other elements of the can's design.
So I guess it's only available in New York, right?
Yeah, and it has a hand-drawn sketch of Christopher, the Notorious Big Wallace. Phrases include Brooklyn's finest, King of New York. The Brooklyn skyline to pay homage to the late rapper's hometown. So
these are 3 cans that are coming out, and that I believe they're going to be collector's items. So this is coming out by Budweiser. I guess there was a demand for it. I don't know if there's a demand for it or anything.
Let me check. Not at my house.
No. No. I mean, it'll sell, because I know when 40s were coming out and all that. If I heard a song in a rap, if I heard about a beverage in a rap song like Brass Monkey, you've heard the song Brass Monkey?
Oh, I'm not into rap music.
Well, it's not rap. Well, it is kind of rap music. Everyone wanted to make Brass Monkey. Now, you ever had what'd you buy me for Christmas this year, Dan?
Well, what did I get you? Your 2 front teeth. Yes.
Have you ever gone to like a office party or anything like that, and someone hands out like lottery tickets? Like good luck.
Yeah,
good
we've
luck.
done that. Or sometimes at work, at Christmas, they'll do that. So.
Now, have you ever won anything on them?
Maybe like $1 or $2. No.
Well, come to find out, a friend's gift turns out to be a $2 million winning scratch-off ticket here in North Carolina in Gaston County. Gaston County, there are friends, and there will be best friends. And one Charlotte woman may have had the best friends of best friends to thank for this special gift. A woman got a scratch-off lottery ticket from her best friend as a gift. The present she won't soon forget. The $20 ticket turned out to be a $2 million winner.
That's a good investment.
That is a good investment. But this Charlotte woman isn't the only one walking around a little bit richer.
Yeah, we stopped by the Gaston County store that sold the ticket and talked to the grateful owner who's getting a nice check, too. Vidang Trivedi, who is the owner, she owns the Lucia Food Mark on Killian Road for only 3 months. He thought he was selling just another scratch-off ticket, but that 100 times the cash scratcher wasn't just any ticket. Yesterday I heard a couple customers come in and they said you sold the winning ticket. It was worth $2 million, and even though Trivedi didn't scratch it himself, his store is getting a cut of the winnings.
And the weanings.
Yes, we're doing that.
So this woman, of course, she doesn't have to be. She can remain anonymous here in North Carolina, right? You don't have to release.
No, in North Carolina, you do have to realize it. The store owner is going to get $100,000.
Is it $100,000? I thought it was only $10,000.
Go back.
I already closed it out, Dan. Sorry.
It's somewhere between either 10,000 or 100,000.
Now, so if I gave you a scratch-off ticket, Dan, and it won $2 million, what is my cut? And I always say,
and to be totally honest, I'd give you half of it. I would.
no. All I ever want, and that's the big running joke with me, is all I ever want is 10%.
Okay.
That's all I want.
That would.
That'll work for you. Now, you can take me if you want to go on vacation and pay, me to go on vacation with you and the family to go on vacation with you. Well, Dan, you know what? I got to have someone here watch the horses and watch the
chickens. Yeah,
well, Dan, if you want me to really, really go with you, you're gonna have to pay for something. I can't afford it. I mean, I only got 10%. So
yes, no, you know, I take care of you.
I know, Dan. All right. On that note. We appreciate all you guys out there taking care of us as well. On behalf of IT Dan over there, on behalf of IT Dan over there.
Yes, how are you doing? You don't have my screen up.
Oh, sorry. There you go. On behalf of IT Dan over there, we'll let you guys get back to what you got to do. My name is the Deacon saying goodnight and goodnight.
Wait. Come back.
The absolute end.
Sorry.
Now we got to go back and see what that person won. Was it?
Oh, I'll pull it up.
You're probably right. 10,000.
Right here. Yeah, I think they only get. Well, here we can watch.
Scroll down.
I should have played the video.
Well, if you scroll down the bottom, it'll tell you.
I know, but I should have played the video.
For your fans?
For the flans.
Right, and one Charlotte woman may have the best of best friends thanks to a special gift. WBTV's Chandler Morgan joins us now in the studio with more on this special story. Chandler?
Yeah, this woman got a lottery scratch-off ticket from her friend as a gift. Well, a present she soon would not forget. A $20 ticket. It turned out to be a $2 million winner. But this Charlotte woman isn't the only one walking away a little bit richer here. We did stop by the Gaston County store that sold that winning ticket, talking to the grateful owner, who is getting a nice check of it, too.
I was shocked.
Vedong Trivedi has owned the Lucia Food Mart on Killian Road in Stanley for only 3 months. He thought he was selling just another scratch-off ticket, but that 100 times the cash scratcher wasn't just any ticket.
Yesterday, I had like couple customers came and they said you sold the winning ticket.
It was worth $2 million.
Congratulations, you won $2 million.
Trivedi and his wife Roma say it was fate. The customer came in to buy beer, they paid, and were about to leave then.
The transaction was over, and after that he was like, oh, let me get the lottery ticket.
We owned the store before, never happened in almost 2 years, and that we haven't sold any big tickets.
And even though Trivedi didn't scratch it himself, his store is getting a cut of the winnings.
The only thing I need from lottery department, I need a bigger poster that says this sold winning ticket, 2 million winning ticket at this location.
Yeah, to
That's
bring
all I
in
need.
guests.
Trivedis say any prize at all is something to be grateful.
I think God is watching over him.
Allah.
Because he worked really hard in this store.
I feel great. Like, I'm blessed.
I'm blessed. I love that. The store owner tells us that he thinks the store is going to get around 10 grand for the winning ticket. Now, as for the winner, she had a choice of getting fixed payments, or she could just choose
she took the lump sum.
It was $1.2 million. And, spoiler alert, she chose the lump sum.
She chose the lump sum. It would be easy to choose the lump sum when you can just take it.
It's all there.
So that means you could probably get
why
about
wouldn't she wanna get her
800,000
hands on it right
after
there?
taxes.
But I understand some people want the payments, but either way, I mean, you're getting money.
And you're hopefully giving some to your friend that gave you the ticket.
Yeah, exactly. I want some of that.
Thank you.
Awesome story. Thank you.
All right, there you go.
There's a store in
I gotta pee.
There's a store in Concord that's had like 3 winners, and I've gone and out. If I'm near there, I'll go out of my way to buy tickets.
Yeah.
And it hasn't helped at all.
Nothing.
No, but that's.
You know, I've got this black driver at the paper company. He runs through Union County. He knows exactly where I live, and he's a good old black boy. And if he needs a pee or take a break or get off the road, he'll stop at these little stores, these little fucking backwoods stores, and buy lotto tickets. He's like, You ain't never heard someone win anything in Charlotte. It's always these back roads.
It is. They're towns you never heard of before. It is.
Right.
And I would, if I go someplace I don't usually go by, like if I see a store